What happens every 4 years and involves the entire community showcasing their support?
The Paralympics.
Very good guess, but that's not where I was going with this. The civic elections, while not as exciting as watching athletes compete for our country, elections are just as important.
Very true. And for the City of Edmonton, the election day is fast approaching.
Boy, they sure are. And when Edmonton presenter Alex Smyth heard that the city was committed to making the voting process accessible to everyone of legal age, regardless of ability, he had to learn more. So he set out to meet Ian McLean, the Director of Elections and Census.
Well, we're sitting in the election office right now, and probably the peak period of time that we have every 4 years. We're getting geared up for Election Day on October 16th. The City of Edmonton is an amazing place to live, an amazing place to participate in community. We went under a very extensive community consultation in 2015 and 2016 called Understanding Voter Needs, where we went and looked at specific groups within the city and really how to reduce barriers to voting and the voting process for them. One of those groups specifically targeted was persons with disabilities. We had community consultations, lots of discussions with specific groups, open houses, to be able to look at reducing barriers to the voting process will allow people that maybe haven't been able to in the past to participate in an inherent right in the voting process.
One of the ways the City of Edmonton is reducing barriers is by working with the Accessibility Advisory Committee. Shelley Thompson is the chair of the committee, and they take issues to council regarding people with disabilities in Edmonton.
The election office came to us to ask if we could help them participate in making the elections much more accessible and equitable for everyone. We worked with them on their forms and looking at how we could make those more accessible.
We have ASL interpreters at every single forum. We have captioning at every forum. We've improved our streaming to make sure that if people can't attend physically, they're going to be able to see what happened at those forums and get that information. We have 189 voting stations on Election Day. So you're taking a city of 900,000 people and you're breaking it down into 189 little quadrants for people to go vote. We've physically gone and inspected every single one of those voting stations. If there are any stairs, if there's any barriers to them, we have made notes of those. And on the city's Where to Vote tool, which can be found at edmonton.ca/elections, we'll actually put those notes on there so people can look up their voting station and be prepared. We also have processes in place where if there are people that can't access the building because of any sort of physical disability, we will actually bring the vote to them. A curbside vote will actually come outside and make sure that they have the opportunity to cast their ballot. For our advanced voting stations, we have an AutoMark device.
The AutoMark Voter Assist terminal is designed to help you mark your optical scan ballot. This system will guide you through each contest in the ballot and present each choice.
It looks like a large computer with a hood over top of it. It's at a low profile, so if somebody was in a wheelchair, they have access to it. It's not too high or too low for them. That device offers many capabilities for somebody with a physical disability to mark their own ballot.
The AutoMark also features high contrast and zoom functions for people with low vision.
And we have the ballot that can be placed into the AutoMark for you. You place the ballot with the names facing up, and this can be done by an assistant.
There's a sip puff function. There are tabs that you can use, so if you have limited dexterity, you can actually use the tabs to say yes or no and vote. There is sound options, so there's headphones that go on that'll speak out the ballot to you if somebody has a visual impairment.
If you are satisfied with your selections, press the right arrow key.
There's multiple options on there, and what it does is it marks the ballot like any other ballot would look like. So you won't be able to tell the difference between the AutoMark ballot and somebody who's standing behind a voter booth and just marking it with themselves. And also, we've got magnifying devices onto every single voting station. So if somebody needs to see larger font, it's there for them, accessible for them at every single voting station on Election Day. As well as looking at our pen grips and different things that if people have maybe limited dexterity, anything we can do to increase that option for them will be there.
If you wish to mark your ballot now, press the square select key. Your ballot is now being processed. Please wait.
There's always a lot of challenges, but I will say Edmonton is a fantastic city. We actually just won the Rick Hansen Award. It was one of 3 in Canada. And it's a city that is always, trying to make progress, especially progress to trying to make it a city that's equitable and inclusive for everyone.
What an innovative machine. It's going to make the voting process easier for everyone.
I agree, but we should note the auto mark is only available during advance polls, which are open until October the 13th.
Right. And the official civic election day for Edmonton is October 16th.
You know, I wasn't aware of the fact that Edmonton was named one of Canada's top 3 accessible cities by the Rick Hansen Foundation.
That's right. Edmonton, Winnipeg, and Richmond were all on the list.
Would you agree?
I haven't spent enough time in those cities. Definitely something I want to look into.
Again, for more information on Edmonton civic elections and where to vote, visit edmonton.ca/elections.